So I was doing a jam once with a couple of pals in Unity, and they were using Fmod. It was pretty cool, and I got jealous. So now I'm making my own personal audio manager thing in Godot. Well, I already did, but I'm redoing it. So I want to show the current version and what I vaguely remember of the first one. Exhibit A, Audio Manager. So besides being jealous, I had a few reasons to make the first iteration. Number one, so that I could pool audio players. The audio manager handled them, so I didn't have to create a player for each sound in each scene. And pooling the players lets me reduce the amount that exists at once. And if you don't know what object pooling is, basically, when you're done using an object, instead of destroying it, you just keep it off to the side. And when you want to use a new object, instead of creating one, you just bring back one of the ones you kept. Reusing objects this way is faster than creating new ones. Without pooling, I'd have to have an audio player for every sound that might play. But not every sound is going to play at once, so you only need a fraction of those players at a given time. Which kind of leads into the next point. Number 2, to automatically reduce the volume of sounds if too many are playing at once. Or just don't play sound if there's already too many. Number 3, dynamic sounds. I made an editor to combine sounds together and to set their individual volumes and pitch, basically kit bashing together a new sound. You could give the volumes and pitch a random range, which would make the sound dynamic, sounding different every time it plays. And lastly, number 4, to have layered music that could dynamically change. Say you enter a new area, another instrument could fade into the music, or at least that's what I did at first. But as I added more instrument tracks to a song, I noticed a little bit of audio latency appearing between the tracks, so I decided to scale it back a little bit. Instead of playing all the instrument tracks on separate players, I just make the combined versions in my DAW ahead of time, and only use one audio player. These are what I tried to implement in my audio manager. I had it functional, and I was using it for a while, but it has some issues, and I ended up completely redesigning it, like the UI. It was kinda ugly. So now, the current version. It's still an audio manager, but I wanted to call it something different, so Exhibit B, Adaptive Audio. So a lot of the goals stayed the same, but there were some big differences this time around. One of those differences is how I handle music. I don't. Okay, I do, but I've simplified it even further. Now there's no dedicated UI for the music, but I do still have methods I can call to handle things like transitioning between music in a way that still sounds dynamic. Now the big change is how I handle sounds in their UI. I try to overhaul the visual design. This time around I'm using tracks, and I also made these knob controls, which I'm really happy with. Big thing I was trying to figure out was how to visualize waveforms. Well, luckily I didn't have to reinvent the wheel. Other people have already gone through this in Godot, so I'm just using FFmpeg to generate them. I did still have some other hiccups, but it's all good now. So yeah, I can have multiple tracks, and multiple sounds per track. And of course, I can rearrange the sound's positioning, which is already a lot more than what the first audio manager could do. I can set volume and pitch for the whole track, or I can set them for individual sounds, which would override the track settings. I also made what I'm calling an event system, name pending. You can add flags, and if you do, then the settings will only take effect if all the flags have the listed values. So I can have some settings only take effect in certain situations, which will make my sounds even more dynamic. I was gonna put an example, but I don't feel like it, so you'll just have to use your imagination. I've already replaced the old audio manager in my game, and I've started working on some new sounds. There's still some features and polish I want to add to it, but it's functional,